Well, look who came crawling back. It's the O Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, CW. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. Make sure to hit that bell on YouTube and subscribe to the podcast on any and all platforms. Today, we are talking about what it is to be a referee in pro wrestling. What does it mean? What is it all about? What does it take? What are the qualifications to be a professional wrestling referee? I ask because it's very loose, I would say. Have you noticed, by the way, if you are a wrestling fan, if you've been watching for a while, have you noticed how buff refs have gotten over the years? Like, I think they've seen so many of their predecessors get the absolute tar kicked out of them with like a simple shoulder charge or getting bumped by a giant's back. Also, wrestlers are enormous people. The wrestlers are very, very big, like over 6'5", over 250 pounds. So I always made fun of refs. Like, why are you taking such hard bumps when you just got, when someone just backed into you? Have you ever backed up in your own home, if you're a parent, and stepped on your child by accident? Just bumped into them? You didn't even think you were walking backwards that fast. You just kind of took a step back and you bumped a kid and they just toppled over. That's what it's like to be a ref in pro wrestling. They're in there with literal giants. And if someone takes a step back or they fly backwards and with an elbow and they hit a normal sized human being, that person's going out. They're getting knocked out. I'm changing my tune on refs having a glass jaw. I backed up into my son once and he took a full tumble backwards, ass over tea kettle, just like flipped around, fell down on the floor. He was so discombobulated. Yeah, we were just, is he gonna be all right? Is he gonna cry? I mean, it's always a crapshoot if he's gonna cry, but that's how wrestlers are. Whenever, a regular sized wrestler who is usually over 6 feet and 200 pounds backs up into a ref and they go down and then a whole bunch of shenanigans occur because the ref isn't watching, I was always like, man, that's crap, ref. If he barely touched you. It's like, no, it was a giant. It was a giant taking a step back and bumping into them. But I digress. Have you noticed new refs have seen that these old refs were getting the crap kicked out of them, and they started hitting the gym. They're like, I'm going to be a ref in pro wrestling, but I'm not going to be these glass Joe refs. I'm going in there with muscle of my own, which is great, but they still hire regular sized people to be refs. So it doesn't matter how much muscle you have on you. You're still 5 feet shorter than everyone in the ring with you. It's pretty impressive. It's funny. I was watching Raw or SmackDown or something, and I noticed that the refs were getting bigger. Even the ladies, the lady refs, they're jacked. They're out there hitting the gym too. They don't want any crap. And the lady wrestlers, if you've noticed, they're hitting moves on people now too. I saw a clip of Sami Zayn getting stunned by a lady ref, and it was incredible. Anyway, my question was, what does it take to be a ref in pro wrestling? The reason I asked is I was playing WWE 2K23, a really good game, the return to form for the 2K WWE series, and in the showcase mode for John Cena, the first match is John Cena versus Rob Van Dam for, I believe it was the title. Yeah, it was for the WWE title. And when you complete the match, they show you a cinematic. They show you a clip from the actual match, and it ends with the ref getting just absolutely crushed by one or both John Cena or Rob Van Dam. And Rob Van Dam's like shaking this ref who has brain damage at this point. He got hit so hard, he's knocked clear out. So Rob Van Dam has John Cena beat. He has the 1, 2, 3. He just needs someone to count it. So what happens? Out comes Paul E. Heyman, the commissioner, owner of ECW, prior. And he slides into the ring and counts the 1, 2, 3, handing Rob Van Dam the title. And I said to myself, is that legal? I mean, the only thing that has to happen in the ring is for you to pin someone, and then anyone who's not wrestling to hit a 1, 2, 3 to confirm that the pin is legit. But is there some sort, they are called officials. So their ruling is the official ruling. But technically, anyone can count the 3, right? If you have the person beat for a 3 count, does it need to be a ref in the striped shirt to count the 1, 2, 3? I can only assume that it's only official when the official counts to 3, but anyone can count to 3. And throughout professional wrestling, people have counted 1, 2, 3 who weren't refs. Also, there's a whole thing in professional wrestling called special referees, where any old person shows up with like a striped shirt and they can count the match. They can be biased. There's whole pay-per-views based off of people screwing over other people by being the special ref, laying hands on the person they want to lose and then counting a fast count or doing an incredibly slow count. It's part of pro wrestling. One of the greatest wrestling video game modes is special referee mode. Why? Because you can screw your friend over. There's no more fun thing to do in a pro wrestling video game, especially one of the old SmackDown games or whatnot, is to have your friend take on the computer in any kind of match. It doesn't matter. But have it be a special referee match, and then you be the special referee, and then just torment your friend as they try their best to get over on you. How do they do that? Well, they have to destroy the computer so bad that it doesn't matter how slow you count, they're not kicking out. That's basically what would happen with me and Dad's First Time. Shout out Dad's First Time, twitch.tv/Dad's First Time, where we would play a special referee match. I remember, I'm thinking a very specific match where I was just counting the slowest count. I would just stop. I would get to 2 and I would leave the dude's hand up, and it was the most fun ever. We had a blast, hilariousness. But also the ref would just be a wrestler, not an official, and those matches count. So I ask again, what are the qualifications to count, to not even just to be a ref? What do you have to do to count a 3 count? Let's say 2 wrestlers are in the ring, they're fighting, the ref gets sneezed on and they're out cold, they're dead, they've died, they evaporated with that sneeze in the ring, they've exploded and their shirt is all that's left. If a person from the announce table, let's say Corey Graves or Taz or who whatever your favorite announcer is, gets up, takes off their headset, slides into the ring, dusts off the remnants of the ref and puts on that striped shirt, and then proceeds to count a fast count for whoever they want to win, does that match then count? Does that shirt make them a quote unquote official? I'm not thinking too hard about this. Let me be honest. I'm filling 10 minutes for a podcast, but I was struggling with it a little bit. It doesn't matter, honestly. I think my humble opinion is that anyone can count the 3 count. Hey, what did Spider-Man say? Anyone can wear the mask. Anybody can wear the shirt. You just have to be willing to take the bumps and hit the gym nowadays. So I guess anyone can do it, but I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Does it have to be a quote unquote official? We know that it doesn't, but should it? Maybe that's the question. Should it only be an official who counts the 3 count so that it's non-biased? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. If you are a ref in pro wrestling, let me know as well. And don't you ever forget,
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.